Alright, I'm gonna explain the entire pre-hard mode Terraria experience for dumbasses that don't know how to play the game. I'm gonna assume that you have played the tutorial already, so if you're using this as a guide before you play the tutorial, go do that. Anyway, when you load into your world, you get 3 tools: a copper short sword, a pickaxe, and an axe. Use your copper axe to chop down trees, and start exploring one side of your world. Hopefully by now you would have found a desert or a cave, either one is perfect. If you found the desert first, go ahead and mine the cactus there because you can get cactus armor and swords from that, and the shit's fucking insane early game. If you keep on exploring past the desert, you might find the corruption, and it holds very overpowered mobs that you're not ready for. Make your way back to spawn and go make a house for your NPC because you should know what that means if you play the tutorial. Then explore the other side of your world. Hopefully you would have found a cave, and this is exactly what you need to be doing. Possibly by now it should be nighttime, and you don't really want to be above ground for nighttime mobs. Go ahead and dive into the cave, and what you want to be doing is mining all the ores you see besides copper and tin because they're pretty much useless. Hopefully you find like chests with good loot, like the cloud in the bottle, which gives you a double jump, or Hermes boots that make you run faster. And maybe you'll find life crystals too, which increase your maximum HP. But yeah, pretty much you want to be caving for a shit ton of time. Preferably until you have full gold or platinum armor, but full tungsten or silver armor is pretty good too. If you're playing in classic mode, which I definitely recommend you should if you're a new player, you don't need to prepare too much for bosses. Just make sure you have a good arena and some campfires to increase your life regen with some good enough weapons. Assuming that you've done some hardcore exploring already, you might have gravitation potions. Gravitation potions flip your gravity if you press W on your keyboard or just up on your left stick. Why that's important is that Terraria has Sky Islands, which has really good early game loot. You can get the Star Fury, which is a powerful sword early game. You can get a lucky horseshoe, which negates fall damage. You can get a... Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one. But yeah, there's just a ton of loot that you do not want to skip out on. And if you're feeling confident, you can go explore the corruption that you were too underpowered to explore last time. Yeah, now suddenly the shit that made you scream, "Holy shit, what the fuck is that?" is suddenly not that scary anymore. Make your way down to the corruption caves. Make sure you brought bombs with you. Inside of the cave, you'll see these glowy circle things. That's what we're trying to get to. Now bomb your way and try to break those orbs. The first orb you always break will drop a musket. The next 2 that you break will drop a random item. But be careful, if you break 3 of them in a row, it will spawn a boss that you're probably underpowered to go against called the Eater of Worlds. It's basically just a big giant silly worm. You can just break the 3rd orb and avoid the fight completely and just use a recall potion or a magic mirror if you found one. Now at this point, you should be well prepared to fight your first boss. That's the Eye of Cthulhu. Wait till nighttime and use a suspicious looking eye. You might have already found a suspicious looking eye when you were caving. But if you haven't, you can get 6 lenses from demon eyes and you can go to a demon altar to make one. Make a long wooden platform and use campfires occasionally and you're fine. The boss is textbook. Now that your brain is filled with dopamine after killing your first boss, it's boss rush time, baby! You can use the demonite that you got from the Eye of Cthulhu battle and make whatever you want with it. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is how you fight the Eater of Worlds, which is your next boss. There is an arrow type called the Jester Arrow, which is perfect for this boss because it does piercing damage. Use a gold bow with the Jester Arrows and the boss is history. You might need to fight the boss 1 or 2 times, but then you'll have enough for everything you need. Make some shadow armor and go find the jungle. Your next boss will be in the jungle. Now the jungle is a high risk, high reward area. The jungle has some fucking overpowered loot for early game, but you might also get ripped by the shit ton of mobs there. So tread carefully, but you got that. If you've been exploring for a bit, you might have seen a beehive. That beehive will spawn the queen bee. If you make your way inside it, you'll see a larva. Break that, bam, the bee is spawned. Kill that thing like once or twice and you should be ready for your next boss. The dungeon spawns at the end of your world. It always spawns on the same side as the snow biome. The snow biome is opposite of the jungle biome. Grab the gear you have, make an arena with platforms and campfires, and wait till nighttime to curse the old man to spawn Skeletron. You might be wondering, what's stopping me from going inside the dungeon before I kill Skeletron? All I'm gonna say is, go ahead and try it yourself. After Skeletron is defeated, go hop inside the dungeon. There's a gold locked chest that contain really good loot, like the Muramasa, Cobalt Shield, and some other good stuff. Now, if you haven't already, it's time to go to hell. If you found a shadow key, I'd definitely keep that in your inventory. Because down in hell, there's things called shadow chests, and they contain really good loot. In hell, you can mine an ore called Hellstone. Hellstone is the most powerful ore in pre-hard mode. You can use it to make all sorts of weapons, but most notably for the molten armor. That is the strongest armor you can get pre-hard mode, at least for the melee class. Now, this isn't exactly necessary, but this would be really helpful for going into hard mode. Of course, I'm not going to be covering hard mode, but go ahead and obtain these 4 swords. The Light's Bane, which is made out of the Demonite that you got earlier. The Blade of Grass, which is made out of a bunch of jungle stuff. The Volcano, aka the Fiery Greatsword, OGs know, which can be made out of Hellstone. And, of course, the Muramasa, which you might have found in the dungeon already. If you take all 4 of those swords and go to a demon altar, you can craft the Knight's Edge, which is the strongest pre-hard mode sword. It's also very good for early hard mode, so you might be sticking with that sword for a while. Anyway, now that you're all geared up, go ahead and make a long platform bridge in hell. Trust me, you're going to be needing this. And if you haven't already, go kill a voodoo demon. The voodoo demons drop the guide voodoo doll, which is what you're going to be using to summon the wall of flesh, which is the final boss pre-hard mode. After you're done making the long platform, and you have your guide voodoo doll in hand, go ahead and throw it in lava at one end of your bridge. Once it burns, the guide will die, which summons the wall of flesh. Using all of your gear, take it out, which will put you in hard mode. And there you go, that's Terraria's full pre-hard mode experience, poorly explained with PNG images. I don't really care if you subscribe, this is mostly just a video to show my friends that are idiots and don't know how to play any game that's not Minecraft. But yeah, that doesn't matter. See ya.